Yeah, it's interesting when you're listening to the talks, and thanks, Dan, for your input. Somebody who's been involved in AI for quite a long time. In 2018, I was introduced into AI. So I've got a long background. I understand AI and understand the challenges with it. Today, I'm just going to talk about what we've designed and why we've designed and why AI is changing. AI is here. It's here for good. It's not going to change. It's coming at a fast pace. And I'll even give you some examples at the speed of what we've been teaching our AI technology, of how quick it's now beginning to respond to us as a company. And again, I'll just talk through some key stages. I think I'm doing this right, but press that. Okay. Sorry, I don't have notes or anything. All mine's in the head. So we've got a real challenge with global trade. It's changing. Global trade supply chain has never been the same in the last year. It's changing beyond recognition. There's no question about that. Geopolitics, regularity, supply chain exposure, tariff exposure. As an exporter in global trade, we want you to be able to trade comfortably. One of the challenges that we see is it's not as simple as it was before. And remember, whichever country you're dealing with, and I've worked in Saudi, US, Europe, Qatar, China, all over the world, it's the same fundamental issues that companies have. It's with documentation, customs, challenges at borders, and it was good to see we had a logistics take on it earlier. I'm from a logistics background, so I do understand. I'll just go through this quickly. So these are the things that we're seeing exposure, but the geopolitics ones and the Red Sea and, you know, the Strait of Hormuz is really come to head. And in the last year when the US changed government, obviously, we're not into politics, but there was a huge fundamental change there because somebody questioned the supply chain. And the supply chain is messy. It's very messy around the world, and this is why when we're shipping goods, sometimes they go, sometimes they get cleared, and sometimes there's no issues. And there's other times when goods get stopped or stuck, and it's a real challenge for a lot of businesses. And origin is one of the most misunderstood areas of global trade. So when we have trade in global trade and we're sending goods from the UK or anywhere into the UK, if there's a trade deal under a free trade agreement, your origin plays a crucial part because it allows you, or you as a supplier, to have a reduced rate, no duty. So there's no duty on your goods. That makes you competitive in the market. So origin plays a crucial role, and a lot of people get a lot of issues with it. And I'll talk why we designed the Trade Intelligence Hub. These are the key questions we see when we're doing audits. We do audits around many businesses. We do a supply chain and customs audit. You know, what tariffs am I paying? You know, am I ready for a HMRC audit? One of the things we've missed or not understood, or we're certainly not understanding, is that if we're learning AI, what about the government learning AI? They're learning AI as quick as we are. So you imagine now where all your data was checked probably once every 6 months by HMRC or another country at border. Now they've got visibility to your data. So this is going to put a huge challenge on companies who are exporting or importing because your data is going to become critical. Nearly lost my teeth there, sorry. And then, you know, what happens to the supply chain if the supply fails tomorrow? You know, we've got this 1+, so I don't know if anybody's heard about it. A lot of companies deal with China, and one of the challenges with China, with all the challenges around there, is should we be looking at other suppliers? So again, there's a lot of changes within the supply chain. International markets, which are the best opportunities? Commodity codes, what is our commodity code and how can I make that competitive around the world? So just some key things that we're seeing questions asked. And actually, you have all the data. In 2018, I was introduced into AI in Santa Clara, in Silicon Valley, and I worked for a customs house there in AI technology. And the CEO at the time was talking to me about AI and technology, and I had no idea. He was talking to me about machine learning, and it was something that I was intrigued with and started to learn and understand. And for the last probably 6 years, I'm one of the very few who's really been from the journey. I've seen ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, all the other AIs coming in, but I've actually built programs myself from AI from scratch. So I get a good understanding of supply chain and all the key areas around there. But what we've got is what I've noticed when I've been doing a lot of checks in with our data trade intelligence is actually you have all the data. You have all the data in your systems. It's just getting that data out to make it work better for you. So one of the biggest challenges we see, or one of the why we introduced the Trade Intelligence Hub is because we can get the data out there. We understand freight. I had a freight logistics company for over 20 years. I understand how freight, and it's still very much manual work. It's, somebody has to do that job, but AI will start to help that process in time. Supplier data, you've got the data. You've got the financial data, ERP systems. And I'll just give you a kind of an example. When we introduced the Trade Intelligence Hub and we introduced it to clients where we'd go and do checks, we'd go into the business, do checks and give them a report, we probably saved businesses around £250,000 in the last 6 months going into the business and just looking at where the key areas are, where they're overspending or they're not doing things quite correct and it's cost them a lot of money. So the actual Trade Intelligence Hub actually helps and supports businesses to save money but make them more efficient. So I'm conscious of the time, that's all. So will that work if I press it?
What if trade had a brain? What if decades of global trade experience, data, decisions, insights could all live in one powerful AI hub? No more scattered dashboards. No more outdated reports. No more guesswork. Introducing the Intelligence Hub by Export Unlocked, built with 35 years of hands-on global trade expertise, distilled into one intelligent platform. Every trade regulation, every market shift, every logistics change, every buyer trend. It sees it, it learns, and it helps you act instantly. Whether you're exporting goods, importing products, or expanding into new markets, this is your unfair advantage. Inside the Intelligence Hub, compliance, markets, and partners come together in one view. See risks early, compare routes, identify opportunities, act in seconds. This isn't generic AI, it's trade intelligence built by practitioners for real-world decisions. The future of trade is intelligent. The Intelligence Hub, powered by Export Unlocked. Create global opportunities in seconds.
I forgot then when it finished. So this is what we created, and people talk to us about why do we not have this as a platform open to the market. It was never designed for that. This was 6 years or the last 4 years in the making that we created a trade intelligence hub that allowed you to be able to get the best data from that, giving us your data, us looking at your data and giving you the results and the data that you need to either global expansion or to be more customs compliance. And that was the whole principle. We even have freight in there. We're monitoring freight around the world, containers, air freight. Everything's being monitored in our intelligence hub. It's a really unique system, and it allows businesses then to concentrate on developing the business and globally, not being globally in geopolitics, being able to reroute your goods, being ahead of the game, seeing where the opportunities are. Lots of opportunities within there. I'm used to walking around with this stick, sorry. Can you pick that? Does it work? Oh, sorry. So we built the platform, and it was built because we saw that customers wanted some solutions. We work very close with a national bank here in the UK, and we've designed a tool that they will actually use for their members. And they'll use it, and it's AI-driven again. But again, I think Dan mentioned earlier, it's about making sure that when you're building AI, you fully understand. One of my frustrations with AI, and particularly in my field, is that there are people out there who are building these funnels and they don't really understand the end goal. That's why we'd never share it. We keep the funnel inside because we ask it the questions, we get the right questions, we understand the question, we understand the answers, and we question the answers. Like we said, sometimes it will just give you one clear answer. If I was being brutally honest, in the last 6 months, I would say the technology, because I'm on AI every day, is changed beyond recognition. It's become so advanced now. It's just some of the answers we're getting from our hub is on another level. It really is. And yes, sometimes they don't always get it right, but we question that, and that's why we won't share it, because we don't want, as Dan mentioned earlier, we don't want to be in that position. But again, it's making them better decisions. So it's using AI to the capabilities that it should be used. We know it's going to be a huge, huge AI in the next 10 years coming. We know it's going to bring a huge amount to the economy. But actually, let's use it for international trade. Let's grow international trade and make it work. Traditional systems, as we say, I see loads of platforms. How many of you go on a platform, you press it, and it doesn't work, or it doesn't do what the tin says, and you get really frustrated? I'm no different. I get really annoyed. I go on my app and I try and work it, and I can't get it to work. We wouldn't share it. This is the real reason why we won't share the Trade Intelligence Hub, because it's actually been built by the people who know everything about global trade. It was built from head of customs, manufacturing, somebody heading manufacturing, myself, 5 of us together over a 4-year period. We've built everything inside that to make sure that it's capable of answering every question that's needed. Picture of me, I have no idea why I put a picture of them of me, but I'm on there for my sins. But again, lots of years. But this is the inside the intelligence of. So what does it do? It's trade data, customs. Obviously, I'm a customer. The beauty about me, I'm a customs trainer. I'm an international trainer, so I work for the ICC as well, delivering Incoterms, all different courses, not just here, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Europe, Lithuania, Spain, just done some work in Canada. It's all the same principles. So customs, AI analysts, supplier intelligence, so it starts to look at the best suppliers. It can actually work out your commodity code and find the best market suitable for you. But not just do that, what else it can do, it can actually give you a pain point. So it can actually say, Saudi Arabia is a good market for you, but these 3 key areas are weak areas when it comes to customs, when it comes to checks at borders, etc. So it gives you a full report. It just doesn't say that market's good for you. Freight intelligence, my field, it gives you good freight intelligence. So it starts to look at the market where we're seeing drops and ambers. So it'll give you red lights, green lights, ambers. It works on a traffic light system. So it starts to understand what your requirements are as a business and routes you in the right place. And market intelligence. So again, customs exposure, documentation. We've actually created a document system inside where it actually cleans up your documents. And from that, then we clean it up. It can do MSS reports. Anybody gets MSS reports? We've just now created an MS data report from HMRC that gives you full visibility of your VAT, your duties, your CPC codes. If you're doing returns, so if you have a lot of goods coming in and you're doing repairs on them, we've set a system within our trade intelligence that understands CPC codes. It understands, it reads it, it understands. So then you've not got 3 months down the line where you've got couriers bringing your goods back, no visibility. We pick that up for you. So then you can do the right reporting. So again, it's there from a HMRC compliant and also worldwide compliant, to be honest, because it'll be in 42 countries probably in the next 5 years. That's where we see it going. But I just wanted to give you an insight because we hear a lot about AI diagnostics and AI technology. We see it as an advantage as long as you know how to use it. And it is challenging at times. It does give you random answers at times. But it starts, once you start, we're teaching. It's like your friend. It's really weird. You've like got a friend next to you. I talk to my friend more than my partner, I think. It's very, very worrying, isn't it? But you start educating it, you start downloading files into it, you start giving it. So we have about 246 files in the system from about 192 countries. We've got all the data. It's free data. It's not data that you have to pay for. We've got all that data so it can understand the markets it's going into. So if you've got a problem going into Brazil, it'll know what the issues are because it's got that data information. It's intelligent, as we say. Just put some things on there. Now, the reason I put this on there, and I just put this on as a kind of a check. I asked ChatGPT to give me an answer on this, and it turned out this. And as Dan mentioned, I think earlier, I have no idea where that came from. I put it on here just to give you an example. So when people say, yeah, I can use ChatGPT, I can ask it any questions I want to ask it, well, I asked it, and it came up with that. I have no idea where that information, because I've not given that information. But I just wanted to show you that we see people using AI, saying it can do this, do that. You've got to be able to control it. If you don't control it, it gets out of hand and can be very random, and you can make decisions based on things that are not quite correct. Again, it's banking grade credibility, we're FQS. It's practical application, it's commercially validated, but it's inside, so people use us, and we do the data reading, we do the data reporting. These are the key things that we discover when we're doing data, and I think this is a pain point for most businesses who are exporting or importing commodity codes, missing origin, incorrect Incoterms. You know, as an Incoterms trainer, and I do actually write for the ICC, it's still one of the biggest challenges, not understanding your Incoterms. VAT recovery opportunities. How are you doing your VAT correct? Are you doing DDP when you're exporting? Is that a challenge? Or are you using things like regime 42? Are you using different systems? Supply concentration, it's over-reliance on a single supplier. Customs compliance gaps and tariff exposure. Certainly with the US, it's been a challenge for us because it's changing constantly. And that's been a real challenge when we've been teaching it and trying to understand the marketplace. So hopefully that's give you an insight and ready for some food. I'm sure we've all been sat here today. And again, we say compliance is no longer a cost centre. It's your growth enabler. It's very important. It's predictive. It's intelligent. It gives you a competitive advantage. It's connected. And it's always ready. It's always ready. There's a thing in that, and that you can ask it a question at any time in the evening, or we can, and it will give us the answer we need. It's very, very important. So we believe that AI is here. It's here to stay, and we've spent a lot of time on this. So we're not new to AI. We're 7 years in, and we're seeing it evolving and evolving and evolving. And somebody asked me, as an education, I do training, and I've got my own level 4 off-qual in supply chain. Now the challenge we have with our students is they're using AI. So we've had to then create a system that we say to them, yes, use AI, but tell us how you used it and how you got that information. That's the key. Because I class AI as kind of your sat nav. You go somewhere, you put your postcode in, you go to the place, you can't remember how you got there, and then you ask it the same question. When you get back in, if you go in there, you ask it the same question. And that's AI, you're asking it repeating questions, but sometimes the second answer doesn't always give you the answer that you had the first time. So just be careful when you're using these ChatGPTs and other areas, because they're very good, but they also can take you down a road that can be challenging as well. But it's here, and again, it's learning from that. Again, businesses have never had better tools, as we've said, but the winners are not necessarily the biggest business. So trade has never been more complex, but actually there's more opportunities. It's just seeing that opportunity and seeing and using the right tools to really give you a competitive edge in the marketplace. And again, we've just put some things on there. So thanks for that. Hopefully I kept it within time, because I know you're all hungry.
Yeah, you certainly did, and thank you to everyone this morning for keeping in time and being so brilliant. I'm just going to ask you a quick couple of follow-up questions. So earlier, Dan Rhodes was talking a little bit about the challenges and some of his concerns about AI, and Rhonda Dearsley she's in logistics as well, and she wants it to be going faster and faster. It's a sense from you that perhaps the most optimistic about AI at the moment. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes. AI is, at the speed it's going, it's just, one of the challenges you have with AI, like any other technology, is knowing how to use it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the challenge. AI is coming to the marketplace very quickly, and people are using it for emails, doing letters and all sorts. But actually, it can now, it's learning. So it's learning and getting better, and that's what we certainly see. I would say AI will, in the next 2 years, will be on another level, or even in a year. I do actually agree with Mr. Musk that AI is here and it's going to be at a fast pace.
I would just say, as a journalist and as a political commentator, presenter, I know that one has to be careful as well. Yes. And you see it, you put in Google AI, you ask it some basic questions. Some of it can be fantastic, but some of it is making some basic errors. So you've got to be careful the extent to which you trust it.
Yeah, and if I'm being totally honest with everybody in the room today and yourself, is that's why we didn't put it to the market. We decided to keep the intelligence for us because we understood it. We know if it made a mistake with us, we can easily rectify it. By putting it on to the open market, then it, challenges there. So that's the reason we kept it within ourselves, where we get the data from the customer and we get the data and make it work better for them and give them the report. So yes, we could put it in the market. I'm sure it'd be very successful, but I think there'll be a lot of challenges with that. I think it's too early.
Richard, thank you again.